This episode is about how to write a better job description for your personal assistant. Need help with business? Check. With your personal life? Check. Today's guest is the perfect person to answer this. We dished on, among other things, what drew her to the job that she first had when she was a personal assistant. She's an author and business owner herself. She gets us. She gets the busy work life that you have and the juggle between home, family, and work. And she also recorded with me on a Flipping 50 podcast. And if you need to organize or to declutter so that you can be more productive, listen to this episode. Don't go away, friend. And then listen to that, and you'll understand exactly why I asked her to come over here very spontaneously in order to record this, which seems a little off the wall based on the reason that she and I met virtually and we're going to do the Flipping 50 episode, but it was little things that she said, and it was the confidence and the conviction that she said it with that just made me say, no, I need to talk to this woman because first of all, I think I would have loved to have had her as my personal assistant. So I want to know, how would I have written a job description in order to make her say yes? And that is gold. I'm Deborah Atkinson. You're listening to She Means Fitness Business, a division of Voice for Fitness. And at my business, Voice for Fitness, we all know that you want to be an inspirational example to midlife women yourself. In order to do that, you need a profitable health and fitness coaching business. And the problem is usually a lack of clients and or a lack of revenue from them. And it'll make you feel uncertain about whether you can succeed, whether this can be a sustainable business. And I believe you deserve a consistent, dependable revenue from clients you love. We understand how this feels here because personally, I was there at 59 or 49. I'm 59 now. Jeez. Okay. But I started over and I had to start and build my business from scratch and really put everything that I'd been coaching for 25 years to the test. Well, it worked, friend. But here's how I coach. I meet with you first. We get you more clients, whether that is your marketing needs to be tweaked. So we're talking about it in the language that your customers, your ideal customers use. But then number two is we get you more profit because we need you to be earning what you're worth. And number three, we make sure we save some of the time so you have the freedom to use the revenue that you are producing to create a great life. So I'd love for you to book a call and see if it's a fit. But meanwhile, I want you to get the Health and Fitness Professionals Scorecard. The business scorecard I created will let you see in about 2 minutes where you have gaps, and you can start on those all by yourself to begin improving things. My guest today is Tracy McCubbin. She's a decluttering expert, an author of Making Space Clutter-Free, and her latest book, Make Space for Happiness. Tracy looks at the root of our clutter to find the real cause and the ways to get real solutions. As the CEO of dClutterfly, she's helped thousands of clients clear the clutter in their lives to create space for positive life changes. I can't wait for you to dive into this episode. Tracy McCubbin, thank you so much for double dipping today.
I love it. That's so great.
I know I did not warn you that this might happen, but honestly, I was so inspired. So to all of our listeners, I'm going to say you will hear the real rest of the story. And if you like me are sitting right now, say at your desk, I have like 1, 2, 3, 4. I have like half a dozen organized piles. This is not helpful, but so inevitably I'm like, oh my God, I need you so bad. But I also want, because as she was talking, I want to ask you, because I think when you find somebody who is like that really great personal assistant, I've always wanted to ask one and have never had the chance. What would be the job description that would make you say, oh, I want to apply to that? Tell me, because that was your backstory. That's what you were doing before you founded your business. What was it that made you say yes when you did? Or how could we be better at attracting the right next person?
That's great. I think one of the main things is having clarity about what help you need. Being clear up front that that's going to be like, let's say you own a small business and you're like, I'm going to need some business help and I'm going to need some personal help. I think where hiring a personal assistant goes really wrong is if it's just a big smush, and it's like you're doing, some personal, some business, but there's no clarity around it. When I did everything from remodel a house, like book travel, everything. It was like very clear that it was a very wide scope of things, but both people that I worked for were very clear about it. The second person that I worked for, he didn't need a lot of personal help. He had a husband who took care of a bunch of stuff. And he was like, I don't need you to go to the dry cleaner. I don't need any of that. This is really work focused. The other person I worked for was like, oh no, I need everything. And when I hired my assistant, a shout out to Samantha because she makes my life so much better. I was very clear, like there will be some personal stuff, dry cleaner, picking up my mail, the things I hate to do, but there's also going to be a lot of really interesting things around the business. And so I think that leads me to another point that I think you really want to find someone who's interested in the field that you're in. Right. Mm-hmm. So she's very interested in organizing. She's very interested in the media part of what I do. She's just out of college, kind of figuring out problem solving, but is interested in it. So I think if you're a small business owner or a coach, it helps to have someone who is interested in what you are doing, because then there's crossover. And I think also, they almost need to see a path to growth. That as they get better at the job, that maybe their duties will expand. People who lean into becoming a personal assistant tend to like to solve problems. So I think they like to know that as they grow and get better and get more responsibility, that the job will grow with them. But I think, honestly, one of the most important things is clarity. So if you're thinking, I need an assistant, just start with a list of like, here are the 10 things that I can't get done that I need help getting done. Like, these are them. Like, I want someone to go to the grocery store for me, or I need someone to rewrite my bio. Like, if you write the 10 tasks that you need help getting done, you're going to figure out where you need the most amount of help.
So good. So good. So can you give me an idea of so obviously you are working with your person who's picking up your dry cleaning. She's probably right there with you. How would it be different for you if you were hiring a virtual assistant?
Yeah, it's funny. I had a virtual assistant and it didn't work for me because the things that they focused on, I like to book my own travel because I'm crazy about the seat I sit in and the times and, that kind of stuff. So she was great. And she was always like, give me stuff to do. But for me, it didn't work. I needed someone here. I needed help with the tasks that I didn't want to do or couldn't do in person. But virtual is fantastic. I have another friend of mine who owns a big company, these energy bars for women in menopause, and she's blowing up, and she has a virtual assistant, and it's great because some of the stuff she needs help with is automated emails, affiliate links, like all things that can be done online and can be done. Her virtual assistant is a mom, so kind of worked around school hours. So again, writing out the tasks that you need help with is going to help you figure out, is it an in-person person or a virtual person? And again, virtual assistants are amazing. It didn't work for me because I wasn't clear about the help that I needed. When I got clear about what I needed help with, then I was like, oh, it needs to be an in-person person.
Very cool.
It's also, it's the same thing about like, I can't have a virtual personal trainer. I can't. For me, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I pay for those subscriptions and I don't go to those Tracy Anderson classes online. I need to go somewhere. I need to park my car. I need to turn my brain off for an hour. And I realized that, and that's where I'm successful. So getting honest with yourself about the help that you need is going to help you find the right person.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I'm going to echo on that just a little bit. I recently had a coaching client who, I think it was she bought a very small package. It was more accountability. And I'm going to say that on session 3 out of 5, she like gave me short notice, couldn't come. 4 out of 5, she just no showed. And,
Oh.
so it was several hours later. And the follow up from that was like, this isn't working. Like for me, I think I need to work with somebody in person. And it's not logistic. So the things she needed to work on don't require me to be there for her,
Mm-hmm.
but it is there is a difference in the way that you're accountable, as opposed to showing up on Zoom or online. It's just individual. And to any of the health coaches or the fitness professionals who are here, who are experiencing that, realize that that's not a failure on your part. It's just, not everything is going to fit everybody that you're trying to serve, but also for anybody that you might be trying to hire or your own personal needs. Anything you want to elaborate on as far as that goes, Tracy?
Oh, absolutely. I do virtual decluttering sessions with people.
Mm-hmm.
Some are successful, but a lot aren't. And because I found that the people who search out that kind of help really have an accountability. They really are have a difficult relationship with accountability. So the idea of someone showing up, like I show up with my kit and my label maker, and I'm like, "We're here. We're going to do this." It helps them be accountable. And so oftentimes it's a conversation with the client. Is virtual going to work for you? Are you going to be able to be accountable? I don't want to take your money if it's not going to work for you. So I think it's understanding in the coaching space, which, ultimately that's what I am. I'm a clutter coach. Is that method going to work for them? And if it isn't, that has nothing to do with your knowledge, expertise, or skills. It's sort of meeting the client where they are. And I think it's the same thing when you're hiring someone to work for you. What do I really need? Oftentimes it's interesting. I'll go into clients' houses, and after working with them a day or two, I'm like, you need an assistant. You need a mother's helper, or you need, you're a senior, you need someone to come once a week and help pay. Like that would help you, and I think, and especially for women, we have this idea that we should be able to do it all. And it's impossible. I don't know about you. I only have 24 hours in the day, and I like to sleep for about 8 of them, maybe even 9.
Right.
So getting everything done isn't going to happen. I remember I spent a lot of time with my grandmother when I was little, and when it came time to do spring cleaning and the big declutter, she had her sister and another auntie, and like they would all go to each other's houses together and they would do it all together. And I look back and I'm like, yeah, because it's a lot of work. Like you need help. And so in looking for a personal assistant for yourself, what do you need the most amount of help with? What are the tasks that you want to take off your plate? What are the tasks that you want to take off your plate? Or what are the tasks that you can take off your plate? Because there's so many things that, for me, there were so many things that I thought like, oh, I'm the only one that can do this.
Mm-hmm.
No, that is not true. And then I started handing them off and I was like, oh, I thought for a long time that I had to be the first person that incoming clients talk to. I have like a crazy, if I can get someone on the phone, if I can get an in-person consult, I have like a 99% booking rate. And I was like, that's, the bread and butter of the company. Like I have to do this. And my assistant started being the first call, right? With people just to find out what they needed. And our booking rate hasn't gone down because what she's doing is she's weeding out the people who aren't really interested, have a different budget, like don't really want to do the work. And then I'm not talking to those people so that I'm not wasting my time and I can focus on the people who are potentially going to get flipped into actual clients.
Yeah, so good. Okay, so I have a question for you because we're talking to trainers and health coaches, and we're, of course, in 2023, post-pandemic, a lot of people, and I highly recommend that this is true for anybody, whether you have a studio and an in-real person type of business or not, they're building courses and some kind of online delivery. What about you? Do you have an online course?
I don't have an online course, but I am doing 2 things. I am launching a YouTube channel. That's a very comfortable medium for me. So I am launching a YouTube channel, which will probably have a subscription. And then I'm also working with a company that's it's called Scriber, and they do text messages. So you record a little video. I think the people who sign up for it's $4.99 a month. And so I'm going to be kind of doing a coursework through that. Like here's a syllabus of things that we can tackle, and they'll go out via text message. So I'm very excited to see how these two new platforms work.
Clarify for me. $4.99 or $4.99?
$4.99.
I love you so much. Okay. Nice. Very good. Awesome. Well, I told you I wasn't going to keep you long. We wanted to jump over here. Listen, listeners, I mean, first of all, everything she's talking about, if you need it, you need an organizer, you need to get decluttered so that you can be more productive in doing the things. If you sit and spin, like you have tons of things to do and you want to do this and your heart is in it. But if you right now just look around wherever you are, if you're in your home and there's just clutter and it's not organized where you can put your fingers on anything, this potentially is something you need. I'm going to include the link here in our show notes for the Flipping 50 podcast. And we always release these in a 1-2 punch. So it was released yesterday if you're listening to this live. Go there and listen to that just for yourself and your own benefit. And then 2, think about everything that she said in order to help you, not just get more organized, because I think some of that heavy lifting you need to get in and do yourself, but helping you organize your thoughts about what can you delegate first and next. And this is the pot calling the kettle black, because it's hard for me to delegate. It is really hard. And I hope it's not a matter of self-importance, but it certainly is, just like you said. It's like, this is my bread and butter, though. I mean, somebody has to get this right. We can't be playing Russian roulette with this. But yet, I was also pleasantly surprised this past year, earlier in the year, I ran out of hours and somebody had to do some of in this case, it was posting. And I was like, oh man, she's doing it better than I did. Just get out of the way. Yeah.
I attended a conference of women business owners in July, and it was amazing. And they had, one of the luncheons was they had the 50 fastest growing women-owned businesses in the United States. They were awards. And these were women who were like, well, 2 years ago, my company was $4 million and now it's $40 million. And they were big players in all spaces. And so each of them got interviewed about their journey. And the thing that they kept saying over and over again is, my business took off when I got out of the way and I got more help.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Enough said. That was a good mic drop for the end of this one. And Tracy, just mention for everybody here, where's the best place for them to find you and follow you?
Absolutely. So Instagram and TikTok. Instagram is really my biggest platform. We have a great time over there. I do these 5-minute decluttering challenges. Super, super, super fun. So it's at Tracy_McCubbin. My website, tracymccubbin.com. And then my YouTube channel. I'm about to do a whole series, which I'm super excited about.
Love it. Awesome. All right. So listeners, now it's your turn. You can find the show notes for today at fitnessmarketingmastery.com/get-more-things-done. And we're going to give you all of the links to get a hold of Tracy, the link to the Flipping 50 podcast in case you can't find it. And what are you waiting for? I mean, the world needs us right now more than ever.